everyone, today I'm here with a special guest. I have Xavier with me, the head of sales from Global Prime. Hello Javier, how are you doing today?
Yeah, very well, thanks Oliver. I appreciate you having me. Excited to be here today.
To start off our interview, could you give me a little bit of your background and tell me a little general information about Global Prime?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure as many of you know, Global Prime was founded in 2010 with our target market being institutional traders. We quickly broadened our horizons due to the demand for retail clients or buy retail clients who now make up a really healthy amount of our client base. In this short amount of time, we've really had a focus on a high quality service, and that's helped us grow tremendously over the years. And it's one of the reasons that we're known as one of the top brokers in the industry. More recently, Global Prime has underwent some changes with Phil Horner, the CEO taking over, our new CEO taking over, and Jeremy and Alan, moving on to new ventures. It goes without saying that Jeremy and Alan were, great leaders and instrumental to Global Prime's growth, from its inception. And they've decided to taper down their involvement and focus on other projects, which is fantastic. This presented, a really exciting opportunity for us. We're very excited for the years to come, and we've got some big changes that will be taking place, from improvements to our hub, our trading infrastructure, the partners portal, and even new platforms that will be coming to life in the Global Prime space. So all of that will be developing in the next couple of months. As for myself, I've been in the space for close to 7 years. I started my journey as a finance graduate in 2017, with the majority of my experience in front-facing roles. So I spent a great deal of my time in partner acquisitions, servicing premium clients, and now management and strategic direction of Global Prime, which is really exciting.
Thank you very much. One of my first questions is going to be probably one of the most important ones. Most of our traders are already well familiar with Global Prime. They know you since we've worked together before, but maybe for those who don't know Global Prime, this is going to be a very important question, and that is, how is Global Prime regulated?
It's a really great question. So Global Prime, is regulated by, tier 1 regulators, ASIC in particular. So that's our Australian license. We've also got our VFFC license, and we're in the process of acquiring a number of other tier 1 licenses, which will include our SISEC license in a few months. As for the importance of regulation, it's probably one of the most important aspects to consider when you're choosing a broker. Ultimately, our role as traders is to safeguard our funds and ensure that, the broker that you're choosing to operate with is fair, they're transparent, and they're safeguarding your hard-earned cash. So, Global Prime, for example, holds all its funds in segregated client accounts with, NAB and HSBC. We have a great team that monitors things like AML and KYC, and we ensure that we go above and beyond when it comes to meeting our regulatory guidelines and needs, which is something we're really proud of.
You spoke about how important transparency is, and I have to agree with that. One of the things that we try to be as transparent about as possible is our funding, the funding of our traders. And therefore, I would like to ask you, is Lux trading exclusively with real money in the live accounts?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. And to, keep this one short, yes, the team at Lux is trading with real capital. The clients that pass through the evaluation phase go on to trade, live Lux funded accounts. And to my knowledge, they can enter into, profit shares of up to 75%. You'd know better than I would, Oliver, on that front. But, it is all, live funded accounts. And it's something that the team at Lux has worked very hard on.
Do we still keep the ABook model as we had before?
Yeah, absolutely. In regards to kind of, the A and B book side of things, I know it's, one of the most asked questions by traders, and it is a really important question. Here at Global Prime, we run a strictly non-dealing desk brokerage, which essentially means we're an ABook broker model. So it means that we're not trading against clients. We don't run our own proprietary trading desk. And this has always been the predominant model here at Global Prime. And, we plan on carrying on that tradition, especially for our clients here at Lux. We want to make sure there are no conflicts present and making sure that your broker isn't trading against you. And ultimately, that's another really important factor when you are choosing a broker.
It definitely is. Another important factor is what LPs the broker works with. So let me ask you, what LPs does Global Prime work with, and how do you choose your liquidity providers?
It's an interesting question. I can't take all the props on that one. A lot of that goes to our risk team here, who put in a lot of hard work. Currently, Global Prime, works with a number of different liquidity providers. Traders can actually review this on our Global Prime website. There's a document there called our hedging and counterparty policy, and that provides much more information as to who our liquidity providers are. But to provide a little bit of context here, which I think is important, the liquidity providers that we do choose are prime of primes, and they aggregate their pricing with tier one banks such as Citibank or Goldman Sachs, and they provide us with industry-leading pricing. As for how we pick liquidity providers, as I mentioned, we've got a risk team here that goes through and evaluates these LPs. They're looking at things like spreads, average spreads, execution times, top of book liquidity, depth of market. There's a whole list of characteristic and elements that we go in there and review to make sure that only the highest quality LPs are being fed through to our clients at any given time. So, there's a whole lot of work that gets done there to maintain those relationships and improve those relationships over time.
Thank you very much. We're going to talk about those trading conditions in a moment, but before that, let me ask you, what is the long-term vision for Global Prime?
Our long-term vision is to continue carrying on some of the great traditions that, Global Prime was founded on. We want to maintain great relationships with our clients, our partners, that were formed over, the many years of dealing with them. And we want to continue to meet and exceed our, client expectations. So, that's first and foremost. In our vision, we want to continue on that tradition. We also believe that the future of trading is in technology and ease. So with this, we hope to relaunch things like TradingView and make available CTrader, which provides, some great depth to clients trading, as well as continuing to improve the Global Prime trading infrastructure. A lot will happen there, and that's our long-term vision for that. But there will also be some changes to other things like our partners portal and our hub, as I mentioned earlier, and we'll continue to kind of analyze our trading infrastructure down the line and look at spreads, execution, swaps, costs, and overall really just try to lift some of these things as a broker.
Speaking of trading conditions, what can we expect in terms of slippage? You spoke about platforms. Can you give us maybe a little demo of what our traders can be excited about?
When it comes to our trading conditions, our conditions are, at Global Prime are fantastic. And I'm not just saying that. As I've mentioned, spread and costs is a huge focus for us. I've mentioned that a few times throughout this chat, and I think we ultimately want to plan on improving this with time. As for platforms, in the coming month we'll be launching CTrader and TradingView. So those would be really exciting, and I can't forget about MT5, which will provide traders with the opportunity to get into a large array of US stocks. So there's definitely a lot happening on that front. In regards to commissions, our commissions and pricing are industry leading, we believe, and with round turn costs for Lux traders at $4 it really does beat almost all regulated brokers that I know of by a strong margin. So pairing that with industry leading spreads, we think it puts you in a really strong position to see some success here at Global Prime. As for things like slippage, as I mentioned before, we work with our LPs to ensure that only the highest quality is coming through. And that you've got a really strong top of book liquidity. So, as long as you're not trading around some of those nasty market conditions, we think that you should have a really good time here and not be subject to, adverse or, large amounts of slippage coming through.
Thanks. There's a lot to be excited about. My last question is, what do you believe to be the future of prop trading?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting question. I think genuinely the prop trading space is quite exciting. As I'm sure a lot of you may know, and you would know this yourself, Oliver, that there's been an explosion in prop trading firms popping up, and there've been a lot of people that are trying to provide these types of services. So it's a really great way for traders to perfect their craft and really carve out an edge in the market. So I think that's probably one of the most exciting things when it comes to prop trading is that it gives people an opportunity that they might not always have had. To link up with, these high-end brokerages and get an opportunity to start dealing with some, bigger amounts of cash So that's kind of first and foremost. I also think that it'll be, a bit of an evolution here in the tech that is provided. So, that's just going to keep getting better and better. And I think in the space, given that there are, I guess, so many numbers out there and, such a big supply of prop trading firms, it is important to trade up with prop trading firms such as Lux that are, clearly highly ethical and, put their best foot forward in terms of, best practices and standards. And we believe that's kind of critical to your success. So, there are a lot of exciting things to do. And I think there's a lot of research that needs to be done for traders, when they are, picking a prop trading firm.
Well, thank you. That's all my questions for today. I appreciate your time, Javier. Thank you for coming for this interview. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with our traders. And I wish you a wonderful day.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Take care.
And to all of you at home, thank you for watching the interview. If you have any questions for me or for Javier, please leave them down in the comment section below. If you want to get in touch with us, feel free to reach out to our 24/5 live chat or send us an email at info@luxtradingfirm.com. If you want to join our community, the Discord link is in the description down below. And I wish you all a successful day trading. See you soon.